Nithyanandam. Welcome to the next episode of Exploring into Vedic Tradition. Today, as you see behind me, we have the Adi Guru, or the first or foremost teacher or master, an enlightened being who has landed on this planet Earth. He is Dakshinamurty. This form, according to Vedic civilization or say Vedic culture, represents the highest energy that had come down as a teacher, as a master who was there to give enlightenment to all those who came seeking for it. The foremost disciples he had were the four sons of Brahma, the creator. They are named Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara and Sanat Sujata. All four of them were on the verge of enlightenment, and when they came to this master who appeared to be a young boy, there is a beautiful verse describing that situation wherein the sons of Brahma who were aged enough and they were seated before this master, the Adi Guru Dakshinamurty. And how was the situation? Let me read to you the verse. Chitram vatataror mule vriddha sishya gurur yuva gurostu maunam vyakyanam shishyastu chinna samshayaha. The verse has a beautiful meaning. Under this banyan tree, right now we have a banyan tree under which our Dakshinamurty is seated. Under the banyan tree, Vatataror Mule, Vriddha Shishyaha, all the disciples were physically more aged, and Guruhu Yuva, and the Guru or the master was a young boy. And what was the instruction or the message he gave to his disciples? Gurostu maunam vyakyanam. The only message he gave was silence. That means he did not verbalize any of the messages, but he was passing his energy through the silence. Then what happened? Shishyastu chinna samshayaha. All the doubts, samshayaha means doubts, of his disciples. What sort of doubts? Chitram samshayaha. The doubts which were varied. Each one of us have different set of doubts against our beliefs, whether we are on the right path, whether we are following the right routine, or whether we are following the right practice. What is the way I can go through? All these doubts always keep haunting us. Likewise, all these disciples had doubts. And how were these doubts dissipated, thrown apart? Chinna means thrown apart. The doubts of the disciples were thrown apart just by the silence he emanated. The silence itself was the teaching. That is the beauty of this Guru, the Adi Guru Dakshinamurty. There is another beautiful verse. There are umpteen number of verses describing the beauty or the majesty of this form. Om Namah Pranavartaya Shuddha Jnanaika Murtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. This form, Dakshinamurty, is the master form of Lord Shiva. He is seated facing the southern direction. Dakshinamurty incidentally means the form that is seated facing the southern directions. Salutations to that Dakshinamurty. What is he? He is the meaning of the Pranava. Pranava mantra means the first or foremost sound. That sound is referred to as Om, Omkara. It is the sound that is reverberating everywhere in the cosmos. That we can feel when we learn to go inside in meditative state. When there is complete silence in us, there is a unheard of sound emanating from our inner space. That sound is similar to the cosmic sound Omkara. And this master who has reached that state of cosmic consciousness is the form of Omkara. And he is the form of unalloyed wisdom. He is wisdom in personification. And his thoughts, whatever he wants to convey, is crystal clear. That is why he is so popular as a deity in the Vedic culture. Everyone who is interested in even worldly knowledge and higher knowledge, they always come to Dakshinamurti and pray. And there are references that every one of their prayers are answered immediately. Now, how is the form of Dakshinamurti described? It is a beautiful representation. The form itself is the entire cosmos in a particular form. He is also referred to as Ashtamurti. Ashtamurti means the 5 elements: mind, intellect, and ahankara or ego. That is the form. He is the form of all these 8 together. What is it? Each one of the parts, let me describe to you. The body represents the Prithvi or the earth. That is first element. And each of his ears, he has different earrings. They represent the male and female aspects that is present in every form, every human form. And he has the river Ganga on his head. That represents water. And on one hand, he has the Damaru or the drum. Drum represents the space or Akasha. Akasha is space. And according to Vedic literature, from space or from sound, we have the creation coming forth. So that is the representation. The headband or the head ornament that is tied on his head represents the presence of wind, and that is why the hair is tied. And he has fire on one of his hands. That represents the fire energy, Agni. And on his head, on one side, he has the sun, which represents all the luminous bodies. And on the other side of the head, he has the moon that represents the satellites and planets. The 4 disciples, who by themselves are enlightened beings, just one word from him, one Mahavakya or the word from him gave them the ultimate experience. Those 4 sages are represented here. They are Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara and Sanat Sujata. They are the 4 disciples, first disciples. And he has the Veda or the on one hand, which represents all forms of knowledge. And he has the Japamala, the rosary in the other hand. That is the representation of the preparedness, the openness of the mind and the intellect, without which no knowledge can get inside. Then, what else is there for attaining knowledge? We have plenty of obstacles within us, like desire, greed, fear, and lust. These are some of the basic basic obstacles for any knowledge to go inside. They are represented by this demon, Apasmara. And Lord Dakshinamurti, Lord Shiva in the aspect of Dakshinamurti, very easily overcomes him. His power, when it is arisen in any human being, the Dakshinamurti energy, when you awaken within you, it can do away with any of these obstacles. And finally, he has the hand held in the Chin Mudra. Chin Mudra is the thumb and the index finger holding, touching each other in this manner. That represents the Ishvara Tattva. The thumb is the Ishvara and the index finger represents the ego. These three fingers represents the three gunas. Three gunas are the basic qualities that are present in any human being. They are Sattva, the tranquil and equilibrium state; Rajas, the passionate, quick to react state; and Tamas, which represents the dullness, inertness in each one of us. Each one of us are a combination of these three. These three represents the three gunas in one way. In another way, if you look at them, they represent the three states of living. They are waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. These are the three states. Each one of us keep traveling up and down, day in and day out, minute by minute, you can say. So these are the three states. When the ego dissociates itself from these three gunas and these three states and joins Ishvara, then enlightenment is possible. That is what is indicated by this Chin Mudra. Then he has his eyes half open. That indicates that he has knowledge of within and without. Everything is known to him. That is what is meant by this. So, when you look at the form itself, you get the knowledge of the entire reality. And just praying to this Dakshinamurti will give you the ultimate knowledge if you are intent and persevering in your seeking. Nithyananda.